today's video we will be doing Ultimate Spider-Man number 13. We have a lot of Ultimate Spider-Man to catch up on. So this is a pretty cool little cover with Kraven. And you got Peter and Harry Osborn. Obviously they both are going up against Kraven. So there's what I like the most about the Ultimate Comic line is you got the little Virgin variant cover. So let's move into the story. This is January. So every issue of Ultimate Spider-Man takes place the next month. Like last issue was December. Every issue takes place in the following month, counting themselves down to when the Maker finally releases from the prison he's in. So you got the black suit Spider-Man going around, and as it unmasked, you find out that it is Peter Parker's son, and the black suit is able to replicate Peter's identity, and he is obviously posing for Peter. Peter is missing. Nobody knows where Peter's at, but the symbiote is standing in for Peter to look after his family, and his son is pretty much just taking it for a ride, which may or may not be a good idea. We'll see as we go. They're having a little discussion about boundaries and so forth. And we get back to Mole Man and Kraven. Kraven has went to Mole Man's domain in the Savage Land, and he's doing all this behind Kingpin's back. And that's cool. We got a little cameo of Sauron right here. I wish Sauron would have played a little bigger part, but it was still nice to see a little hint of Sauron in here. Mysterio pops up, and Mysterio is like, hey, what are you doing behind Kingpin's back? And they're like, are you going to run and tell on us? And Mysterio's basically like, no, this is your thing. So they go down, and Peter and Harry is having a big dinner laid out. Kraven's pretty much like, yeah, I'm going to feed them. They're going to have a feast because when I go to hunt, I don't want to be tired. I don't want to be hungry. Like, I want to hunt them at their peak. Mysterio comes in and starts kind of nosying in. Mysterio's pushing in on it for some reason. So Kraven basically turns them loose. They've supposedly got bombs strapped to their neck that will explode. And Kraven turns them loose, and he says, hey, I'm going to give you a little head start. I know where your family's at. If you don't take me out, then after I get done with you, I'm going to kill your family. So Peter's first thought is, I have to get to my family. And Harry's like, well, if we stop Kraven, then we won't have to worry about protecting the family. And of course, they find out that the bomb collars weren't really bomb collars. So as they're arguing about what to do, raptor comes up. Peter saves Harry from the raptor. Then, of course, that's not the last of them. Raptors travel in packs. We had the black suit Spider-Man traveling around. He gets introduced into the newest version of Black Cat, who is out for revenge against Spider-Man for throwing her father off a building, basically. So that's how this issue ends, as we are introduced to Black Cat. Peter and Harry are being hunted by Kraven. Harry, of course, doesn't have access to the Green Goblin suit. Peter is basically having to look after Harry as best he can. They're kind of seeing things from a different angle. Peter wants to get home and make sure his family's safe, where Harry wants to take out Kraven and eliminate the whole situation. So it'd be kind of neat to see what happens next with him, whether it drives that wedge between them that we know will eventually come. Anytime you're dealing with Harry and Peter, there's always got to be a wedge there somewhere. Overall, the art's decently good. I like the art pretty good. I'll probably give the art a solid 7 or something. The story was, I would like to have seen more action. I feel like action the lack of action more or less is what holds this book back. But when you do get the action, it's worth the wait. So, and it's Jonathan Hickman. Jonathan Hickman is really good at a lot of the stuff he does. I wasn't crazy about his X-Men Krakoa stuff, but at the same time, I mean, that's the closest we were going to get to the X-Men being a family again, because as soon as Krakoa was over, the first thing they do is scatter the X-Men into 500 different teams that don't really associate with each other. I mean, that's the exact place they were in before Krakoa. I mean, Jonathan Hickman does a good job on most everything he touches. I liked his Avengers run, but this is the closest we'll ever have to having Spider-Man and Mary Jane having a family and being married and so forth. And even Marvel has decided they got to end this too. Apparently, they want Peter to run around with a woman that is running around and dating other guys and him out in the open, and because that's what's going on in Amazing Spider-Man. Is the girl he's seen in Amazing Spider-Man is straight out telling him she's seeing other dudes and he's okay with it. So apparently that's the direction Marvel wants to go with it, since it is their flagship title of Amazing Spider-Man. So the married Peter and Mary Jane's got to go. The devoted husband has got to go, and he's got to instead be a "I'll see you whenever I see you" type person. But I'm not here to rant about that. That's Amazing Spider-Man stuff. All in all, this issue, the story, I'll give it about a 7.5. Just because it felt like there wasn't enough action in it, but it is building up to some action, hopefully. So overall, the issue completely, I give it an overall 8. I give it an 8. So that's what I think of this. Uh, I'll have the next issue coming out here soon.